Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Gemini Scale Model Works video. In this video, it's going to be part 4 of the Street Machines group build. We're going to take this 446 pack, yeah, it's a 446 pack, and we're going to take this 396, and we're going to dress them up. You don't know what I'm talking about? Watch the video and find out. Talk to you in a little bit. Bye. Okay, boys and girls, we're going to start this part of the video out by showing you the parts that I am going to be putting into this build right here. I bought this a while ago, ESS Resin Works, and it is a 8-cylinder distributor cap, distributor mount, plus 5 color choices of spark plug wires. And that's what it looks like in the kit. And these are the parts here. They give you a base. Let's move this guy today. They give you a base right here, and they give you the cap here. And the good thing about the cap, you guys are going to see that, but the holes are drilled. So that should be pretty cool to do. I do notice that on one end of the wire, we're going to have to take some of the insulation off, because with the insulation it just doesn't fit into the cap. And I wish that I can get something smaller than 30. I have 30, but the 32 or 34 that I have is not coated. It's just bare wire, so I don't want to use that. Anyhow, we're going to start off by drilling the holes in the 396. I told you in my last video that the holes are already drilled in the 440. I already drilled 4 of the holes on this one just to get an idea of the size I need. Here we go, is this one. And I did put the manifold temporarily up there just to see where my holes got to be. So, with that being said, let's get going. Okay guys, you just witnessed me breaking the drill bit in the last hole. And I can't get the drill bit out because it's below the plastic. So I'm going to have to either just Mickey Mouse that or drill a hole next to it or something. But oh well, you know what they say, it happens. Alright, so with that being aside, we'll go ahead and see how these are going to work. Now these would go in here first. So let's see, I already drilled a hole back here for the distributor. I made it just a little bit bigger to accept these bases. So let's see. I don't think it's big enough. These things will fly away. See what I mean? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and make the distributor hole a little bit bigger so I can get these guys in there. I already did the Mopar. So, alright, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, boys and girls, now that all my holes are drilled out, I went ahead and put my distributor base into the manifold on the back of the Chevy motor, and I put it on the front of the 440, and it is on the angle that I see in the pictures that I looked up. So now, the only thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go ahead and secure those And once they are secured, I will put the distributor caps on. I painted the Mopar in a beige color, and I painted the GM in a black color. I'm going to use CA cement to get them in place and hold them in place, because I am going a little bit on top of paint. So put it in my little palette, and just going to take my little toothpick right here and just give it a dab right down in there. Alright, that's that guy. And once those set up, then I can put the distributor caps on, but I'm not going to put them on until these guys are set up 100%. I did have to drill the Mopar because it was just a hole that went straight down. But I know that the Mopar distributors are on an angle. So, while those are setting up, put this on the sticky part so it don't get lost. I don't know, we're going to choose some colors, I guess, for what wires I want to use. I don't remember ever seeing any blue spark plug wires, but I might be wrong with that. But one of these engines is going to get blue and one's going to get yellow. So, here's my yellow. And I think I'll put the yellow on the Mopar. So, we'll just kind of eyeball a length. And we'll just cut them all to that length. So I'm going to need 9. There's one. Now they don't have to be exact. Just close enough. The next step will be putting these wires into the cylinder heads and securing those, and then finally putting the manifolds on. That's 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. I do have more yellow wires, so I'm not worried about that. And now the holes that I drilled in the block, I don't have to do nothing to the wire, just put it in there and glue it in, because the hole is big enough to accept the wire complete. But on the other side, I have to I'm gonna have to strip the insulation off. So, like I said, I'm gonna have to wait till I get my distributor cap on there, and we'll continue on. So there's 8 here. I have more yellow up there. We'll worry about that in a few minutes. Be back soon. Alright, boys and girls, we are back at the bench, and as you can see, I have all my ignition wires in place. And I use a little bit of black C8 to hold them in place. Those will kind of look like boots. I don't really want to do all the work of getting boots and stripping wire and all of that kind of stuff to get boots to go on there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the distributor cap on and let that set up. I already tested the manifolds, the exhaust manifolds that is, and they happen to fall exactly where they're supposed to. If you can see that. And that's exactly what the picture looks like that I have. So I think we're on the right track. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and put this guy in here. And we'll turn him around this way and tilt him a little bit there. Now I did the tan cap for the Chrysler. And I think we need to, and no, we're still good. Alright. A little CA cement. And once we put this in there, I'm not going to touch it So here we go. That's pretty good for the first shot. Yeah. All right, I'll live with that. That looks good. That looks pretty good, I think. Looks like the right angle and all of that good stuff. So, we're going to let that set up for a while, and then we're going to start running some of these wires across and see how we're going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I mean, I'm not going to do the firing order, that's for sure. Although I could, probably. And how do you guys know, this is a question, how do you guys know which would be number one? I know how you know it's number one, but do you guys know how it's number one? I'm talking about number one spark plug. I was always taught that when you look at an engine, the cylinder head that sticks out the furthest towards the front of the car, that is usually number one spark plug. And in this case, it looks like number one is on that side. This is just a little bit more forward than this side. I might be wrong. It might be an optical illusion, but that's what I see. Anyhow, we're going to let that distributor cap dry up, and we'll come back and I'll start running these wires over to the cap. We're going to have to strip the ends on these just a little bit just to get them into the holes, because I'm not going to bother drilling those holes out since they're already there. The work has been done, so I'm not going to redo it. All right, we'll be back in a little bit. Okay guys, we are back down at the work area, and I have the camera zoomed in really far right now. I want to show you what I've been doing to get these ignition wires into the distributor cap. This is a piece of 30 gauge wire, and you can see that the tip is still got insulation on it. I had bought this tool a long time ago to work on my model trains because I use this size wire to do some lighting or whatever. But anyhow, it's got a lot of different gauges. Starts at 32 and goes all the way down to like a 20 gauge. I don't know. I haven't never seen a 20 gauge. But anyhow, it's got a lock on here, so it doesn't open while doesn't stay open. So just depress it, move the lock out of the way, and it opens. Now, I'm going to show you how much has to come off on this. And I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but I'll get into this 30 groove right there. And that right there is too much. So I need to come down a little bit further. A little bit more. Right about there. Okay, now I will show you how much I actually cut off. That's how much I cut off. And that will go into the distributor cap and fit perfectly with the wire coming right out of the terminal of the distributor cap. Anyhow, I'm not going to show you me doing the wires because it is quite tedious and my head will be in the way most of the time. I already got 2 in there, 6 more to go, and then I got the engine to do. So I will bring you back when both of these are totally finished, wired as far as ignition wires go. Okay, stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. Okay, boys and girls, we are back, and this is what I have accomplished while I was off camera. As you can see, that all of my spark plug wires are on and attached to the distributor cap. Now, I want to warn you guys that the stem on the bottom of the distributor that goes into the manifold is very delicate. I broke this one about 3 times already. So, when I do the Chevelle, unfortunately I already have it in there, but I already know for the next time I'm going to use this kit, I am going to drill out the bottom of the base and put a piece of styrene rod in there, which would be much stronger than what the person did these with. Anyhow, I also did my heater hoses right here, and when they are ready to go in the car, they will go under the ignition wires under here. I also did a hole, and I put a piece of wire here that's going to be for the vacuum power brakes, and I also did the starter, red and black wires. So if I can figure out how to do the fuel lines for these three carburetors, I will do that also. But I don't know if anybody sells a fuel block that will go from an in to 3 out. Maybe I have to make one of those. I don't know. But anyhow, I'd really like to do that because I have an electric fuel pump for this. Also, I did not put the coil wire in yet because I am going to have a high-performance XL coil mounted on the firewall. Same thing with the Chevelle. Anyhow, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do the Chevelle and the 396. And when I get done with that, I think we'll call this video good. Let me just show you a little bit on the side here of what I did on the starter. I actually went to the solenoid on the starter. Also, another thing that I might do, I'm not sure yet, I could run a wire from the alternator to the battery. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. Anyhow, with all that being said, I'm going to, oops, the other way, Vincent. There you go. I'm going to go ahead and do the Chevelle. Now that I know what's got to be done, and then once all that's done, I will put my manifolds on, and these engines will be ready to go into the cars. Alright, stay tuned. We'll be back a little bit. Okay, guys. As I start to work on the Chevy, like I said, you need to be really careful because these guys will break. As you can see on the bottom there, that stem broke. Part of it's in the manifold and the other half's here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fix that with this number 211 40 thousandths rod. It's 1 millimeter in diameter. So a very short piece of this is going to be pretty stout. So first thing I need to do is cut this guy off, the rest of this little stub on there, and hopefully it'll leave a white mark where I can do my drilling, because I have to drill into this and I'm going to drill into the manifold. I thought about putting a piece of tubing on the outside of this. Only thing is, it looked way out of proportion. So here we go. And look at that. It left me a nice white spot in the middle where I can drill a hole. Okay, I need to drill a hole that's going to be 1 millimeter. So actually, it has to be a little bit bigger than 1 millimeter, but yeah. You know, I have a problem with these drill bits. I don't know if you guys have problems with it, but the slightest little tweak and they break. I don't know if it's me. It probably is. Probably a little ruffian or something like that. Let's see, where's my drill? Here's my drill. Alright, so this looks like I do have a micrometer, but I just don't feel like getting up and getting it. This is going to be the hardest part, is to drill this hole. You know what? Let me sand that down flat. Probably going to have to repaint this, but that's okay. Alright, there you go. Alright. Maybe I will start off with a way smaller bit first. I'm just afraid to use these bits because they break on me. Let's see, I got this one. And I got this one. Now let's start with this guy. Alright. Don't laugh at me when I break this bit, because it most likely is going to happen. Alright, let's see. That looks pretty center to me. Now, if I can just get the hole started. Yeah, see, that's what I'm afraid of. It's just going to move around. I don't have an awl to punch a hole. It's not going in the center. Ow. The plastic, not the finger. I'm just going to go ahead and drill this out. And then let's see where we're at. Actually, it looks pretty centered. Alright, so let's go to the bigger one. Sorry guys, I wanted to make this video shorter, but at least I could show you how to fix a problem in case you guys decide to buy this kit. Gotta get it pretty deep in there. I think we actually hit dead center. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and go off camera. At least I'm showing you how to do this part, and I'm going to do the same exactly on the intake manifold with a piece of this tubing to hold it in there. So stay tuned, and I'll show you the results here in a few minutes. Okay, boys and girls, this is my fix. As you can see, it actually looks better than the original one, if you ask me. Just a little paint on the shaft. I left it long so I can make some adjustments to it. I used black CA to hold it in place, and then I gave this a little paint down here of aluminum or something. And yeah, and I'll repaint the cap on here because it looks like, maybe not. Alright, anyhow, just wanted to show you that it is fixed. And I do have the hole in the manifold where it's got to go. And so we will continue on with the wiring of this motor engine. Alright, we'll be right back. Okay, boys and girls, we are back down at the bench right now, and I am going to show you what I have accomplished while I was off camera. I did start to show you how I was doing the spark plug wires on here, and what made this job easy to do the spark plug wires is two things. Number one, the holes were drilled in the distributor cap, which is a big factor. And the second thing is using these pliers or these wire strippers made it real easy because I didn't have to tug. All I had to do was put the wire in the size hole, just give it a little push. I'm sorry, matter. And give it a little push like that, and it was stripped. So as you can see, right now I have all the ignition wires in except for the coil wire. That'll be coming up soon. I have these two wires here for the battery. They go down to the starter. On this side here, I have the two heater hoses that will go back to the firewall eventually. And right here is the vacuum supply for the brake power booster. Now, that one aside, no, hold on, before I go any further with this. I did find a cross ram manifold. And if I can get this manifold off without breaking anything, I am going to put the cross ram manifold on, because that was what was on the car that I raced on that night. So, with that being said, if it does, if I can get that on there, then this will get 2 Holley carburetors. Now, to the Chevy. I had a little issue with the Chevy distributor. As you know earlier, I told you that those stems break quite easily, and I did try to replace it, and I did replace it, but I think what happens is that the glue just melts the plastic so much that I accidentally touched it and broke it. So, with that being said, I thought I had another one. I couldn't find it, but I did have this Detail Masters. Can I get out more? Yeah, there you go. Distributor kit, and it's a pretty nice kit actually, because it's got they got the hold downs for the cap, and it's got the hold down for the distributor in the engine block. All I used was the main fixture and the top piece here, which I already had the holes drilled out. And it is, I think, cast out of aluminum, which is pretty nice because that won't break. And it comes with these little caps on the top here. 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, or 8-cylinder. So yeah, it's a pretty unique kit. Okay, so just like the Roadrunner, I got my heater hose here, my battery cables here, my vacuum supply for the power booster, and I just want you guys to see this. I actually did the, I know you can't see it because of the color, but I actually did the little bypass hose. See if I can get a good picture of it right there. So yeah, for you Chevy guys, I did do that. Now, what these cars are going to get is this. Let me turn to the other camera. Might be easier to see this. Let's zoom in a bit. The other way is zoom in, Vincent. Okay. These are ignition coils. This is the bottom half, and that is the top half. And I think those are what the Excel ignition coils look like. It's got a tower on it. It looks like the hole is drilled out, so we'll see about that. Okay. Both cars will get that. Both cars will have to get, and remember guys, this is still on the sprue per se. These are fuel distribution blocks. There's 1 in, and it looks like there's 4 out, which is good for the tri-power car. So each car will get one of those. I have not found somebody who, man, I'm really messing up on the video here. Have not found anybody that does the dual intake for the Holley carburetors, so I got to improvise on that. I already drilled the holes inside of the carburetor, but thought it would be easier to do it off the car. Anyhow, we got that. We also will be getting this braided fuel line, and as you can see on the Chevelle, I already started doing that in the trunk. I just drill a hole in it as if the fuel is coming from the top of the tank. I will be securing it inside the tunnel here, and when it comes out on the top, it will go to an electric fuel pump. Now I'm not sure if it's going to mount on the fender or if it's going to mount on the firewall, but there will be an electric fuel pump here, and then it will go to the fuel distribution block and then to the carburetor. And the Mopar will get the same treatment. This is the fuel pump and fuel filter. Those will get painted 2 different colors, blue and silver maybe, I'm not sure. Both cars will get that. Now, this is going to be the fun part. When I do this braided line, and I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not. You know, I know I said this a couple of times. I'm really not happy with this light. Anyhow, these are, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see those. Let's see if I get it on my hand, if it's better. You're not going to be able to see them. Yeah, there you go. Those are the fittings that I'm going to be using on all of this fuel stuff. And what else? Both cars will get traction bars. This will be the Mopar, plus it's got leaf springs. And my car did have ladder bars on it, so I'm going to see if I can adapt these ladder bars to fit on the Chevelle. Anyhow, with all of that being said, I'm trying to keep these videos short, but unfortunately, because of all the stuff I was doing on this, it wound up to be longer than I expected. So with all that being said, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video. And as always, your questions, comments, inputs, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. Gemini Scale Model Works out for now. Bye!